Dungeons & Dragons alignment system, based on morality and ethics. And a lot of us longtime players think we've got it all figured out. But the reality is, Wizards of the Coast and TSR never figured it out themselves. And here's why. Let's take a look first at the actual description of alignment in Dungeons & Dragons. This one's from their latest edition. A typical creature in the game world has an alignment which broadly describes its moral and personal attitudes. Alignment is a combination of two factors. One identifies morality, the other describes attitudes towards society and order. So let's just look. Lawful good. Creatures that can be counted on to do the right thing as expected by society. And lawful evil. Creatures methodically take what they want within the limits of a code of tradition, loyalty, or order. So here's why it doesn't work. Here is why I far prefer the Palladium alignment system. Society varies. Look at the real world. So you're going to gauge everything by ethics and morality. There is a reason that there are ethical and morality classes and debates. Debates, frankly, I am not equipped to enter into. In one society, the laws and the expectations are free speech. In another society, free speech is a movement of dissidence. So we might say one is lawful good and the other is lawful evil. Many would classify communism as lawful evil. However, many today would classify it as the only true lawful good. Apparently they don't read history books too well. In one society, women can make their own choices. In another society, they are treated as property. It's perfectly legal to stone an unwed mother to death in the streets publicly, because that is what the law of the society demands. So you would consider the second lawful evil, right? What do the people there consider it? What you do when you try and apply this law, order, good and evil axes is pushing your beliefs and your standards onto others. And yes, back in the day, Dungeons and Dragons was very good at classifying cultures and cities as alignment based. This society is lawful neutral. This society is chaotic good. And so they seem to agree. They've gotten away with that in recent years because what they've realized is that, oh boy, we might be getting too close to something that's real life, and us calling them evil or neutral could be highly offensive. I have never appreciated the Dungeons and Dragons alignment system. We look at myself by the definition put out there today. I might be considered lawful neutral. I might also be considered chaotic good. Some would go so far as to consider me lawful good. And honestly, it might depend on the day, might depend on what's happening. And I think that comes true for alignment as well. It's not just a matter of what someone does, but why someone does something. Many consider the act of capital punishment evil. Many others believe it's the only humane response and is good. Getting this argument of morals and ethics leads down a kind of crazy path. If you're playing with people from the same background, the same society, the same upbringing, basic tenets can be agreed upon. But even doing that, I found that there is argument on both sides as to whether something is good or evil, ethical or not. I mentioned the Palladium alignment system and why I think it is superior to the Dungeons and Dragons alignment system. And one of the things is I don't believe I ever saw anywhere where they apply the alignment to a society. It is applied to an individual. And it's not about good or evil in so much as how society views it. It's good, selfish, and evil. I think there are things most people can agree on. But most importantly, let's take a look at some examples. And here's what I like. They actually give examples. Here's what you will do. Here's what you never will do. And if you can apply this to the D&D axis of law and chaos and good and evil, at least then everyone walks in with the same understanding. I think it might still be dangerous to apply it to entire societies, but if the table's good with it, then so be it. Anyhow, that's my 2 cents. Take it or leave it. This is one of those things that I've wrestled with for decades. And it's one of the few times that, no, while I'm open to discussion and everything, you're probably not going to change my mind on this one. I would bet against you any day that ends in Y.